Okay, let's talk about this Brainsy situation. New information came to light because of the Clumsy's video, which was both informative, in-depth, and also unemployed. Although, I do not agree with all of the clips being sus. The clips dating back to what it seems to be maybe season 17 or around those parts should be the nail in the coffin of this conversation. I'm not a controller player, so I am entirely trusting controller community on this one. It is impossible for your controller aim to snap, as Clumsy found Brainsy's aim did too many times, especially during those days where controller had 0.4 aim assist. If he is aimbotted, then he has wall hacked and probably more. Why did I defend Brainsy in the first place? Well, I watched Sue's video and I couldn't help to be baited by the style and the formats in which he does his content. It's very rage baity, it's engaging, and it's enraging. I found myself feeling like the little guy, referring to Brainsy of course, was getting stepped on, especially because it was only wall hack or radar accusations at that point. It is really hard to prove that that is actually what's going on when you watch someone's gameplay, if they're good. The screenshot could have been fabricated with someone in your lobby who had radar, accompanied with a person who just happens to dislike you enough. I have 10,000 plus hours in this game, and I've lost track of the amount of times I've been accused of walling. I paired that with the fact I've just made Brainsy New Orleans, where his team got 30-something plays out of 160 teams, and his average stats, if you actually look it up on 8% status, were actually in the higher ends of players that were in present. Nothing crazy like Panic showed up, but still really good, and definitely good enough to be a pro player in Apex. It also came down to the fact that Brainsy was playing with just about everyone on this T50 ranked Discord, not just the people mentioned in Clumsy's video. A lot more, but you know, it's a lot of work. It seemed like the overall impression in the ranked pro community was that Brainsy is legit, but he just hung out with the wrong group of people in the past and most definitely had played with known wallers. Like, you'd have to be absolutely crazy to not know that Facilitator was cheating. And if they've been in the same Discord calls and so forth, he's definitely known. However, I do think a person can redeem themselves by distancing yourself from that and then being completely legit, as long as he didn't wall himself. At no point have I had a conversation with Brainsy since the Apex LAN took place a bunch of months ago. That was until just a couple of days ago where I got a message on Discord. And in hindsight, I should never have been involved in this situation in the first place. But anyway, Brainsy says, "Thank you for backing me up." And I replied, "It was more about taking a stance against thousands of people that were ganging up on you now without what seemed to be sufficient evidence." He said that he's tired of people's lies online. At that point, I'm already like, come on, man. But I reply, "It appears you've been aimbotting, and you should probably do a video explaining your actions and coming clean." In which he replies, he has never aimbotted, and he also took a month break just recently for some very troubling real life concerns. That out of respect for another person's privacy and life, I'm not going to share with you guys here. However, it really is not the type of news that you should drop to, I wouldn't say a stranger, but a person you played games with online. It is not a nice thing to just share. I was kind of torn on what to do next. Already when Clumsy's video dropped and it became apparent that he has been aimbotting, I was already like, okay, well, that settles that. But a lot of people have the impression that Brainsy is going around boosting everyone in the community because of this video, which is honestly not the case. He might have been aimbotting back then, but now he is honestly no better than like the average semi-pro controller player that you could have in your team. On one hand, I would feel bad about putting him in a worse spot than he already is. The horse is already kicked 20 feet under at this point. But then I opened his stream on that very day that he messaged me on Discord, and I see an old buddy is present in the chat. It's Facilitator. Not only is it facilitator, it's also another couple of the buddies that go way back then who have already been banned for, at the very least, wall hacking. That kind of sent me a little bit. Brainsy, if you're ever serious about not involving yourself with confirmed cheaters of the past, like you shared with the ranked community and the pro community, you didn't do a very good job at distancing yourself from them. To conclude this video / rant, I want to say, Brainsy, I think that you might be a compulsive liar, but also you might be manipulating people. Zeus, I should have given you more credit and looked past the rage bait in your video. Clumsy, great job on the investigation and the video. Never change. Peace.